and welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a 24-hour reading challenge over the course of the next 4 days. So for today's video, I'm going to be doing a 24-hour reading challenge. And basically what that means to me is I'm going to set a timer on my phone for 24 hours and keep it running while I'm reading. So if I pause to make lunch, if I pause to run to the store, if I pause to watch RuPaul's Drag Race later tonight, I'm going to stop the timer and it's not going to count toward like my reading. So that's why I do it over the course of multiple days. Usually I do it over like a 3-day weekend, but this time I gave myself a 4-day weekend. It's Friday, April 3rd, and so I'm off for Good Friday. I will be off obviously Saturday, Sunday, and then I took a PTO day on Monday to give myself an extended weekend. So I figure this is going to be a perfect time. I'm probably going to hole up in my apartment most of the days anyway and just hang tight and read as many books as possible. So I'll go ahead and give you the rundown of the books I'm hoping to read and then also a rundown of my plans. So that way we kind of know where we're starting and what to be expecting in the next coming days. So first up is the book that I'm currently reading. I'm currently in the middle of The Love Wager by Lynn Painter. I think I have about 60 pages left. Yeah, I'm on chapter 25, so not really the middle of, but I have about 60-ish pages left before I finish this. So I think I'm going to try and knock this out this morning. I'm not a super fast reader when I don't do my immersive reading. So I'm imagining 60 pages is probably going to take me almost 2 hours to finish. I think I do like 35, 40 pages in an hour. So 60 pages should be a little under 2 hours. I'm probably going to run to Starbucks and see my friend Christina and grab a drink and go to like a park or something. It's not super amazing weather outside right now, but it's also not terrible. Like it's pretty cloudy, but it's relatively warm. So I might take advantage of that, get some either actual outside reading, or if it starts sprinkling, I might just do some car reading and sit in my car in like a pretty spot and like look out on like the trees or the forest or some shit. But that's kind of our game plan for this morning. After I finish The Love Wager, I'm going to pick up a fantasy, and so I'm going to go with Glow. This is the 4th book in the Plated Prisoner series. It was on our March TBR, but we did not get to it. She's kind of a chunker. I believe the audio for this one is about 22 hours at like one-time speed, so listening to it at 2.5 to do my immersive reading. I'm hoping I can get this done in about 10. Like I haven't done the actual math on how quickly 2.5 speed will go by, but I'm pretty sure it'll be a little under 10 hours. So this will probably take up the next big chunk of our 24-hour readathon. And then I already am calling it now after finishing a contemporary romance and a big heavy fantasy like this. I'm probably going to want a mystery thriller. So I went on ahead and grabbed the 2 off of our monthly TBR just so I have them handy. So first up we have Dear Debbie by Frida McFadden. And then up next is Survive the Night by Riley Sager. So I probably won't pick up both of them. I think I'm just going to do one and kind of see how I feel after one. I do have the audiobook for Survive the Night, but I don't for Dear Debbie. So I might go ahead and do Survive the Night just so that way I'm like getting more bang for my buck in this 24-hour reading challenge. But also like I might not be feeling it. So who knows? I might end up going with Dear Debbie because Frida McFadden books just already like go really fast for me. So either way, I think I can finish it in like a couple of hours. And then the last book that I'm hoping to kind of squeeze in at the tail end, I don't know if we'll actually finish it, but I would love to get in Book Lovers by Emily Henry. So this is another one straight off of the TBR, another little contemporary romance, kind of literary fiction-ish vibes book. So I think that these will be good books to kind of round out our genres since we're starting with romance, going the fantasy gambit, then doing a mystery thriller. I think rounding it out with another romance would also be a good time. So we'll see how that goes. This might change. I might decide to switch it up. I know that I have Steel Princess on the TBR, and that book is super short. So even though, again, I don't have the audiobook for it, I know that I could finish it very quickly. So we might end up doing that, but we shall see. So going over weekend plans, like I said, today I'm thinking I'm going to go grab coffee. I'm going to finish this at a park, see kind of how long that takes me. Then I have to go grocery shopping because your girl needs food. I've been hardcore craving like salads like no one's business because like the weather's finally nice. So I just want to have salads. So I need to go to the store, get some stuff for salad. I also need to, what else do I need to do? I actually think that might be all I have to do today. I might just have to go to the grocery store, but that also feels like a lot to do. So I'm going to run to the grocery store after I finish this book. And then that should be the main thing for today. Like I mentioned, I also will be watching Drag Race tonight. So that also will probably be like a hindrance on our reading time. But I'm also planning on just cooking dinner while I watch Drag Race. I'm thinking about just making pasta for dinner, so that'll be super quick, super easy. Just kind of throw in the water, whip up a quick little sauce, and kind of go from there. So that shouldn't be too bad. I'll do that while I watch Drag Race. And then tomorrow is where we have a lot of things going on. So tomorrow I have my nail appointment and my brow appointment. So you're coming with me. So I will hopefully have some time to read in the morning because my nail appointment's not until noon. But after the nail appointment, we have the brow appointment like almost immediately. So reading probably won't be happening from like noon to 3, I'll say. Yeah, that sounds about right. So then I'll probably come home, probably whip up like a quick little salad for lunch because I'll have the ingredients for salad. And then reading will happen in the afternoon into evening. So we'll see how that goes. And that's really like the bulk of our like solid plans on Saturday. There's nothing else really I have like scheduled or planned or that I want to do Saturday. Sunday, we have the Silent Book Club in the town that I live in. So I go to Silent Book Club usually on Thursdays in like the next town over. Like that's where my friends go. I live really close to it. It's like a 20-minute drive, so it's not even that big of a deal. And that's also the chapter I started going to when I first moved out to Washington. So it's not that big of a deal to go. And so I have the chapter in my town that meets on Sundays. And usually Sunday is rock day, and I don't want to go anywhere or do anything. But I have a 4-day weekend. So Sunday's not Sunday. So I can go out, I can go have fun, I can hang out with people, I can be social. So that is the game plan on Sunday, is to do Silent Book Club. They meet from 3 to 5. So that should give me another guaranteed minimum 2 hours, but also hopefully I'll read before and after that. So maybe I won't even read for the 2 hours. Who knows? So that is our game plan for Sunday. And then Monday is nothing. So like today I made plans for myself. Like I don't have to go get coffee. I don't have to read at the park, but I made that plan for myself. Monday, we have absolutely nothing slated. So again, I might make plans. I probably won't. I might just stay home and read because I'm going to need a rock day after being social basically every other day of the weekend. I have a 4-day weekend and I'm choosing to be social 3 of the 4 days. It's crazy. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. I think that's really all that I have going on for this whole weekend. So that's pretty fun, pretty cool. We'll see how it goes with finishing this today and how far we get into Glow. Because like I said, this is kind of a monster. She's chunky, but I think as long as we finish this one and start this one today, I'm gonna call it a win, even if we don't get super terribly far. Because also, like, if you do math, what is 24 divided by 4? Oh, hell yeah. If you do the math, I only have to read like 6 hours a day. That's not that much at all. So yeah, I think I will hit my 24 hours, maybe even before Monday. That's probably just me being cocky. Editing me will probably put in something to be like, jokes on her. She didn't finish anything. She read 2 pages all weekend. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But yes, that is the game plan for the video. Let's go get coffee or a matcha or something. Let's go get something. I just need a little drinky drink. And then I think I'll feel a little better because I'm really tired. So let's go get a little drinky drink, read our book, run an errand, and you get to come with me. So let's go do that. We have made it to a park. I think it's more of a walking trail than a park, but there's still a parking lot. So it's like 50 degrees outside. I have my little drink. Ignore that it's like the grossest color ever. I started stirring it and then I was like, I should not have stirred it. It's a matcha with ube cold foam. So yeah, green and purple make whatever the hell gray color this ends up being. But I absolutely love it. It's super yummy. So I'm going to just drink my little drink, focus on finishing my book, and kind of go from there. The lighting is kind of atrocious right now because the sun is covered by the clouds, but there are like a couple little gaps in the clouds right now. It's not super overcast. So I think that in a little bit, the sun will start to peek out more and the lighting will get just a little bit better, is my hope, because this does next to nothing. Like, I guess it kind of helps a little bit, but like, I don't really have good like overhead light in my car. But yes, I'm gonna go ahead and read this last 60 pages. Like I said, I think it'll take me roughly an hour and a half, 2 hours, but I'm not really doing anything else. I'm just sitting here chilling. There's like 3 other cars in this parking lot, so hopefully no one like bugs me. But yes, gonna get this timer started and finish our first book of this little challenge. So we have completed our first book of the challenge, The Love Wager. I realized I didn't even tell you guys what the hell is happening in this book, which is partially my bad. But also, I only have like 60 pages left, so I didn't feel like it. Basically, in this book, we are following Hallie and Jack, and they meet at a wedding. Hallie's the bartender, and they meet at this wedding, and they end up having a one-night stand. They hook up at this hotel, and Hallie realizes homegirl's got a problem. She's like, this is my new rock bottom. She is doing all these like side gigs. She lives with a roommate she doesn't really like. So she decides to like revamp her life. She's like, okay, I'm changing my look. I'm getting a new wardrobe. I'm adopting a cat. I'm getting an apartment to myself. And she's getting on the apps to find love, because this whole like rock bottom thing kind of spiraled after her breakup from like a long-term like boyfriend. So she decides to get on the apps, and Jack is the guy that she hooked up with at this wedding. And he's the first person that she matches with on these apps. So she's like, okay, great. This is like also a bad omen. Well, they decide to be friends, and they decide that they're going to kind of bet on who can find love first. So they go on dates at the same bar and like with other people, and they are kind of each other's like escape plan. So like if the date's going terribly, they'll bail each other out. And afterwards they go to this taco restaurant and get tacos together. And so it starts off super cute. It starts off really funny and kind of like a bit of a rivalry situation, because like obviously Hallie wants to win this bet. Jack wants to win this bet. There's prizes. So like they want to win the bets. But they start like actually becoming friends, and they realize like, oh, like I have feelings for this person. So they end up having to fake date for Hallie's sister's wedding, where her ex-boyfriend is going to be the best man at this wedding. So they fake date for this wedding, and that's where I was when our little challenge started, is they were at the wedding for her sister, and they're fake dating in front of her family. So kind of a lot ramping up, kind of a lot going on. The one thing I did not love about this, I'm still unsettled on my rating. I might do 4.5, I might do 4.75, because I did really like it. But the one thing I really did not like is we went from this cute rivalry situation going on where they're like trying to win the bet, and then there's like this kind of cute flirty like banter between them, to when they're fake dating. Even though I love fake dating, it was very friends to lovers in the fake dating situation, because they were both really worried about confessing their feelings and then the other one not reciprocating. And that is my least favorite thing about friends to lovers, is it feels like they're literally always like, oh my gosh, I can't tell them how I feel. I can't tell them how I feel. They're not going to reciprocate. And it's always like, shut up. Like, it just like is so like dragged out and so annoying. And there was a chunk in the middle of this book where I felt like we were getting a little bit repetitive. It was one of those things where like they go on like multiple dates that like end up being bad, but it was kind of like, okay, like I get it. You can just tell us. Like, it's one thing where like, I love when the books show us. They don't just tell us. They could have just told us that they went on a couple more bad dates, because they had gone on so many bad dates. So it just kind of felt like a little bit dragged out in the middle. And a lot of the icks that Hallie had were not icks I would have had. So like some of them, like, yeah, like I get it. Like one guy was like bagging on his ex-girlfriend for really liking reality TV. So Hallie was like, oh, I love reality TV. Like, that's my favorite thing. Like, I would totally do that, because that is an ick. Like, why are you bashing someone for having a hobby? Like, just because you don't like it doesn't mean that other people can't like it. But then, like, she was also really upset that another guy that she went on a date with said that his dog was his kid. Like, he made it seem like the dog was his actual child. And I was like, I personally would have been okay with that. I think my dog is my child. He looks exactly like me. He behaves exactly like me. Where do you think he got his anxiety? It came from me. So like, yeah, my dog's my kid. So I didn't really understand why she was so upset about someone saying the dog was their kid, and that was like her reason to get icked out on the date. I didn't get that. But overall, I did really enjoy it. So I think I'm going to go with 4.5 stars, just because I did have those two kind of like bigger qualms with it. It was super cute, super fun, fast paced. It's only like 280 something pages. So skinny legend. And it was also dual POV, but in third point of view, which we don't usually love. But I did like that it was in their points of view, because usually when we get third point of view, we're switching between two people, and then it gets like a little bit drawn out and a little bit confusing. This one I really liked, because like we could only tell what Hallie was feeling when we were in her point of view, and we could only tell what Jack was feeling when we were in his point of view. So that kind of made it feel a little bit more what's the word? Like it was definitely dual POV, which I really enjoyed. So yeah, 4.5 stars on this one. I did not bring my other book because I want to be done. Let's look at our time before I forget. So that took me an hour and 10 minutes. We're at 22 hours and 49 minutes. So yeah, it basically took me an hour and 10 minutes to read 60 pages, which I'm pretty proud of myself for that. I'm pretty proud because I was thinking it was going to take me 2 hours and it didn't. It probably helped that a lot of these last like 60 pages was a lot of dialogue. I feel like they talked more at the wedding when they were fake dating than they had like most of the book. But I also wasn't like upset about it. Where was I going? Oh yeah. But I didn't bring my other book with me, mostly because I'm going to go grocery shopping now. So we're going to go grocery shopping and we're going to Trader Joe's. I'm really pumped about that. So we're going to go to Trader Joe's, grab some groceries, maybe make lunch when we get home, and then we'll pick up Glow. Is Glow our next one? I think Glow is the next one we're reading. So yes, we will do that then. Bye. So, checking in for our 24-hour reading challenge. So, last night I only made it to 19 hours and 45 minutes remaining. So, we basically only read for about 4 hours and 15 minutes last night, which like I'm not too mad about in all honesty. Like that's not that big of a deal to me because like I knew that today was going to be like my busy day. So, I figured we would just make up for it on Sunday and Monday, which like we have 4 days for a reason. Like I like doing these over an extended weekend. So I'm not like rushing around and trying to like play catch up the whole time if I'm off on one day. And also only being off by like an hour and 45 minutes is not that huge of a deal. Like I feel like that is not too bad. But yesterday, to recount what all we've done, we finished The Love Wager, gave that one 4.5 stars, and I started Glow, the fourth book in the Plated Prisoner series. So I'm about 200-ish pages into it now. Yes, 223, chapter 23. So making pretty good progress in this one. I'm doing it immersive reading. So I'm doing the audiobook. And I think I have 6 hours left on said audiobook. So like not nothing, but also like I can definitely finish this today. And I think that's going to be my focus. I think I'm going to my nail appointment now. And then I will do my brow appointment. And if I have any time between, I'm just going to read. We're just going to focus on getting some pages in. And then when I get home, I'll probably have like a late lunch and then read more. Focusing on finishing Glow today is kind of our main priority. And then we will go into either Dear Debbie or Survive the Night, a mystery thriller. I don't think I'm going to start anything tonight, even if I finish Glow, unless I finish Glow at like, I don't even know. If I finish Glow at like 6 p.m. and it's still light out, then I'll probably hop on and do like a little wrap up and then go into like Survive the Night, but I don't think that's going to happen. It's already like almost 11. It's after 11 and I have not started reading anything. So like, yeah, I'm probably not going to be finishing this book at like 6 p.m. So I'll probably be finishing this one later in the evening time when it's already dark. And I probably won't pick up a mystery thriller if it's already late at night. So we'll see. We'll see timeline where this goes. And I will check in with you when there is an update to be had, either about finishing Glow, probably just finishing Glow will be our next update. But yes, I will update you when there is an update to be had. Where was I? Okay, it's Sunday. I'm updating you guys for Sunday. Also, I got my nails done yesterday. Yeah, see? They're so cute. They turned out really fun. I wanted to do something that was like summery and like blue, but also not like summer. That makes sense? It's literally only April. But I basically only have like 10 minutes before I need to run to Silent Book Club. So I thought that I would check in and let you guys know how Saturday went. So technically I did not get fully done on Saturday, like the day. I think I had like 15-ish hours left on our timer on Saturday. I stayed up pretty late reading Glow, and as of this morning, we did officially finish it. So I have about 13 hours left on our timer after finishing Glow. Overall, I did really enjoy this one. I think I'm going to give it a 4.6 0.75 stars. It wasn't my absolute favorite in this series. I do think they're getting better each book. So basically, the way that I like to explain Plated Prisoner is that the first book, Guild, is kind of a prequel. So we're not really seeing like the main action. We're just getting our main character before she gets to the main action, if that makes sense. So in the first book, we're introduced to Auren. She is basically living in a cage in King Midas's castle, and she has the power to make things gold. And Midas is using that to convince people that he is making things gold and that he has the power to do that. And so as we're following her on her journey, she like is leaving the castle for the first time in over a decade. She is separated from King Midas and she's meeting new people and experiencing new things. And so kind of like it takes off from there. I will say Glow has been the most political thus far, while also still not being super political. I think we're getting more of the world building. We're learning more about our MMC Slade, and we're kind of getting his past. We have a couple of flashbacks earlier in the book about his like childhood and growing up. So in Glow, we're kind of following what happened at the end of the last book. So I can't really say too much about that, but I did really enjoy that this was equal parts, like I said, world building, like about world politics, but also going into kind of what is going on with our girl Auren. She's gone through a lot at this point, so she kind of is like coming into her own even more in this one. I do think that part of why I'm not giving it a 5 stars is that I felt like a little bit of Auren's growth was like, I want to say skipped over, but it was kind of like she was like really distraught, really hung up, really like not feeling good about a certain situation. And then she just kind of like overcame it like immediately. Like I think she had like one discussion with Slade about like how she was feeling. And then like the next chapter, he was like, oh, okay, well, if you like do this, then we can go back to Fourth Kingdom, which is where he's like the king of. And she was like, okay, great, sounds good. And like I'm assuming a couple of weeks had passed, or at least a couple of days, but like we aren't told how much time passed for her to like get her shit together and figure out what she needed to figure out. So like it felt like it happened basically instantaneously, like literally the next chapter. But we are getting different POVs in this book than other books. So far we've only really gotten Auren, Midas, Queen Melina, who was Midas's wife, and then who else's POV have we been getting? But in this one, we are getting Ostrich, who is one of the generals in the Wrath. We are getting Rissa, who is another one of the girls that came from King Midas's castle. And she kind of has like a very interesting relationship with Auren. They're not really friends, but they're closer to friends than they were at the beginning. And so we get her point of view as well. We're also getting Queen Kyla, who is the queen of, I believe she's queen of Third. And so we are getting point of views from multiple other people in this book, which I also feel like adds to like the world building and the politics of the system, which I just thought was super interesting. So 4.75 for this one. I'm liking it more than the other three because this is book 4. I liked it more than the other three, I think, but not quite like 5 star. Like this is not top tier like I was hoping it would be. Like I think so far, the very end of the third book is like my absolute favorite, like the last half of it. But this one as a book overall, like there was no real drag in it. There was no real like lag. Like things were constantly happening even when things weren't actively happening, if that makes sense. Like there was always some kind of reveal happening. There was always some kind of like power dynamic being explored. There was always something happening, even if it wasn't like action on page. And I think that that's why I like the end of book 3 is it was a lot of action on page. Whereas this one is like stuff's happening even if it's not action packed. So there's that. I believe I have 13 hours left, but we are about to head to Silent Book Club and I'm going to go ahead and pick up Survive the Night, mainly because I have the audiobook for this. The audiobook is available on Spotify. So I'm just going to immersive read during book club. I think if I played at 2.5 speed, the audiobook should only be like 3 hours. And then we can get into our final, hopefully our final book of the reading challenge, which will be Book Lovers. I don't know if I'll finish this one today. Like I said, I only have 3 hours, so I could easily really knock it out in an afternoon. But like, if I get back from book club at 5, I'm going to probably want to eat dinner after that. So yeah, maybe I will finish it tonight, actually. Now that I'm talking it through, yeah, I'm going to finish this tonight, no problem. And then we can go ahead and get our start on Book Lovers by Emily Henry. This is the last book I picked out, but looking at timing wise, if I have 13 hours left, this one will take 3. This one will take less than 10 for sure. So I might have to go with another book. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. I'm hoping that tonight I can update you guys maybe after I eat dinner, after I finish this book. And that can be like my last update for today. And then hopefully, fingers crossed, I will only have like 6 or so hours going into Monday, because that's tomorrow, that's the last day of the challenge. And hopefully I can finish those 6 hours earlier in the morning, maybe by like 2 or 3. And then I can spend like the evening time recapping everything, but also editing the video so that way it goes up on Wednesday like normal. So we shall see. We'll see how that goes. But this is like my update of finish this one, 4.75 stars. Gonna start this one at book club. We'll probably finish it this afternoon. And then this will be the next one that we tackle. So far we're trucking along. So far we're 2 books technically finished, even though I started the love wager before starting the video. But I'm still counting it. I'm still going to say that we're 2 books down. We're about halfway through with the challenge, which is pretty on pace considering we still have 2 days left, technically, even though I'm still kind of behind on like where I would like to be hours wise because it's like 2:30. It's like 2:45. So yeah, hopefully I can finish 6 hours today and then go into tomorrow with about 6-ish hours remaining. And I will keep you guys posted. Okay, bye. We're here for our second to last check-in. Fingers crossed, hopefully, I think. So yesterday when we caught up, I was heading to book club. I had finished Glow. I was heading to book club to read Survive the Night, read Survive the Night for about an hour at book club, and then came home and took a nap. So I ended up taking a nap after book club and only finished Survive the Night yesterday. Ended up giving this one 4.5 stars. Not my favorite Riley Sager, but also not my least favorite. I think this one, the thing that I did not love about it is we were mainly in our main character Charlie's point of view. So this one's set in 1991, and our girl Charlie is trying to get a ride from her college in New Jersey back home to Ohio. So she finds some guy at one of the rideshare boards, and he's planning on driving to Ohio as well. So he says, okay, I'll drive. You can be the passenger if you split like gas with me. Everything seems to be going like relatively okay. But as we spend more time in Charlie's head, we find out that Charlie is a very unreliable narrator. And I wish that we either did not know that or it came up more, because it really only came up a couple of times. And the first time it was done really well and I really enjoyed it. The second time she has one of her kind of like unreliable narrator, kind of like movie flashback things. The second time it happened, I didn't love it. It wasn't done as well as I think it could have been done. And that is like my main gripe with Charlie as our main characters. I wish we either didn't know she was an unreliable narrator or we like fully leaned into it like even more and did it even like harder and had her have more of these kind of like movie moment things, because Charlie is super obsessed with movies. She's like going to school to be like a film critic. And I also really liked how that played into kind of her story and like how she knows things based on movies. And then the only other thing that I didn't love about this book is that like we can tell that our main like driver character Josh is like keeping secrets, and we get his point of view, so we know what some of his secrets kind of are a little bit, or we get like inklings of it. And I kind of just wish we hadn't. Like, I kind of just wish we didn't get his point of view at all. I think that would have also kept the mystery going a little bit longer and like made it even like scarier almost. And then the very last thing is like a Riley Sager ism that I usually love. I usually love that he hates men. I love that it's always like the man. The man's the bad. Like, that's the trope, is like Riley Sager's thing. Is like, oh, we think it's one man, but it's a different man. I didn't like it in this one. It felt a little forced for the person who did it to do it. Like, it felt like a little bit of a stretch. And I didn't love that, because usually it's done super well. Usually in Riley Sager's books, when he commits to the man being the bad guy, it's done really well. It like helps, like drive like an overall like arching narrative throughout the whole story. It like pushes like a theme. And I felt like in this one, instead of like getting to the theme, it was just kind of like an afterthought of like, oh, well, like I should tell you who it is while we're here. And I didn't love that. So yeah, 4.75 stars. But overall, I really liked it. I really liked the like fast pacedness of it. You get pages like throughout the book of like the time. So like they leave at 9 p.m. This is the like mark at 10. I think it stops at like 3 or 4 a.m. 3 a.m. Yeah. So like you get like a ton of like markers of how long it's been and how much time has passed. And I really enjoyed that. And then I also really liked the like opening chapter and the closing chapter, how those are like also in third point of view, because this whole thing is told in third point of view, which is not usually my favorite, but I think Riley writes it really well. So I enjoyed that it was like benchmarked by these two opening, closing, like little like 2-page long kind of chapters that kind of make it set the stage for what's happening, if that makes sense. So earlier this morning, it is Monday afternoon right now, but earlier this morning, I finished Book Lovers by Emily Henry. I think this might be my new favorite Emily Henry. I don't know. Maybe it's a recency bias thing, but I feel like this one, I can just see how she's grown as an author from People We Meet on Vacation. Like I just didn't love like the love story in People We Meet on Vacation. I also didn't love the conclusion. Whereas I feel like this one, I liked everything about it. Yeah, I think it's a recency bias thing. But so I gave Book Lovers 5 stars. I did this one immersive reading, just like how I did Survive the Night immersive reading. And I think that that helped it go really, really quick. So like I said, giving this one 5 stars, but we still have 5.5 hours on our timer, like 5.5 hours. So I was looking at our TBR for April to see what books I have that like I have an audiobook for already saved that is roughly 5.5 hours. And we had a winner. When I read it on 2.5 speed, which is what I do for my immersive reading, These Twisted Bonds will be 5.5 hours, like almost exactly. I'm pretty sure it's like 5 hours and 26 minutes. So we're going to go ahead and get this one started. Try to finish it tonight. We'll see how that goes. It's 5:17 right now. So if I start it like right now and go all the way through, I'll be finishing around 10:45, which is not crazy for me, but it's Monday. I'm off today. I'm working tomorrow, so I need to take out my trash and shower and wash my hair and have dinner because I also haven't eaten yet. So we'll see how that goes, but These Twisted Bonds is going to be our next read, and this should get us to the end of the reading challenge just in the nick of time. I fully expected to pace this a lot better than I did. But after seeing my other 24-hour reading challenges, are we ever really that surprised? Like, we're not surprised. So I'm going to go ahead and get all comfy and cozy on my couch, read this, and we shall see what I think of it. I was really into the first book in this series. The twist ending really got me. So I'm very excited to be back in this world, and this is a duology. So hopefully this gives us like a solid conclusion, a happy ending. I don't know. I'm a little scared. But I'm hopeful that this one will give us a good ending, a happy conclusion, maybe set up for like other books. I don't know if Lexi Ryan is the kind of girl who builds like a universe. I think that a lot of duologies nowadays do that, where it is a duology, but it's in a bigger system. I think I'm just used to Carissa Broadbent's books by now. So hopefully if it doesn't like give us like a super satisfying conclusion, hopefully we get like a good ending to set us up for more books in a series, more books in this world, because I have also really enjoyed this world. Like the first book in this, what is it, These Hollow Vows, it felt like it started off very Cinderella retelling and then ended up getting to a point where it was like nothing like anything else. And I think that that's what I'm hoping for from this book, is that it's very different than anything else that I'm reading, that I've read, and we'll see if we get there. So yes, we will go ahead and do that now. And I'll put in a clip of me reading. I'm going to try to shoot some B-roll of me just chilling on my couch and reading, hopefully with my fur kiddos. Hopefully Pippa will be good and she'll cuddle with me and we'll have like a little nap time. Not nap time. I'm going to stay awake this time. We're going to have a little cuddle time on the couch. But I will see you in the next clip real soon. Bye. we are here for our final check-in. I feel like this challenge has been going on for 1,000 days. It's literally only been 4, but we did finish our final book of the challenge last night. So we finished These Twisted Bonds. I think I'm going to give this one a 4.5. I didn't love it as much as I loved the first in the series. So in this first book, we are following Abriella's quest in the Seelie court. She has to infiltrate the Seelie court to help the Unseelie king do some woo-woo shit. And she's originally from a world where there's no fairies, there's no magic. She doesn't trust the fae, all of this stuff. We get a big reveal at the end, and we're immediately dropped into right after she figures out the big reveal in the first book, in the second book. And I just genuinely felt like we were trying to top the ending of the first book. There's 3 different reveals that happen in this that are, I think, supposed to be shocking to us, but just make sense. That sounds bad, but it felt like we were supposed to be whoa, crazy, wow, but it wasn't that crazy. It was kind of where I thought things would go. But I did enjoy it overall. I did have a good time. I rambled the last time I was on about how this might be a duology, and then there's another duology following more people in this world. There is another duology that follows Bree's sister. She has a sister named Jazz, who she was trying to rescue in the first book, and that's what got her in the Fae world in the first place. So there is a second duology that follows Bree's sister and happens after these books. So we're introduced to a couple of characters that will kind of help Jazz along. But for the most part, the story is wrapped up and kind of done, and Jazz's story will be its own separate thing. So let's go ahead and have a quick rapid fire run through of all of the books. I don't think I described all of them super, super well in this, mainly because I was reading a lot of series. So obviously I can't tell you a ton of what's going on in this book, but 4.75 stars. The first book that we finished was The Love Wager by Lynn Painter. I was already 85% of the way through this book and just had the last 60 pages to finish, but I ended up giving this one a 4.5 stars. We're following 2 kind of hopeless romantics as they make a bet on who can find love first and end up having to fake date at our FMC's sister's wedding, which was super fun and super cute. The second book that we ended up finishing in this challenge was Glow, which is the 4th book in the Plated Prisoner series. So can't go too much into this one, but it's a King Midas retelling, and I gave this one a 4.75 just because I really enjoyed the world building and how a lot was happening without it being super actiony. I felt like it was all kind of behind the scenes political action without it being too in your face and having to follow fight scenes and all this kind of stuff. And I also just really enjoyed our FMC and kind of how she came into her own. The next book that I finished was Survive the Night by Riley Sager. I ended up giving this one a 4.5 as well. Not quite my favorite by him, but I did really enjoy the kind of style of being in the car with a stranger driving across state lines and having it all happen in one night. I felt like that kept it really quick, really fast paced, and I really enjoyed how fast it went by. I think that it was a really good mystery thriller to do in this kind of scenario, even if there were certain things about it that I probably would have changed. The next book that we ended up finishing was Emily Henry's Book Lovers. In this one, we are following Nora as she goes on a sister vacation with her sister to kind of reinvigorate their childhood whimsy and wonder. And they end up going to a really small town that Nora, who is a literary agent, one of her author's best-selling books is set in this town. So they end up deciding that's where they're going to go. And they end up bumping into Charlie, who's an editor that Nora has worked with in the past and not really had such a good time with. So it contains small town vibes, rivals kind of ish to lovers. And it's just a super cute, fun, witty banter. And I really enjoyed it. I gave this one a 5 stars. I think this might be my favorite Emily Henry book now. And then, like I said, the very last book to be finished in this challenge was These Twisted Bonds. I'm going to give this one a 4.75 stars just because I felt like there was twists and things getting added in just to be added in. I also will say that I was not a huge fan of how this one is not YA. I feel like if you're going to market it as a YA duology, they both have to be YA. This one's definitely not YA. So if you know of a youth that you want to recommend this book, maybe don't. Sit on this one for a couple more years. Let them read it when they're 18 plus. We'll just say that. But yeah, overall, did enjoy this one. Kind of glad that I'm done with this duology, but very excited to pick up the second duology in this kind of world to see where we go. So here are all the books that I ended up finishing in 24 hours, which is kind of wild and crazy. I think immersive reading really helped because I did immersive read all of these except for the Love Wager. I had audiobooks for all of them. So I think that really helped it go by really quick and make it seem like I read way more this go around than previous 24-hour reading challenges. But if you make it to the end of the video, go ahead and leave a car emoji for Survive the Night. Just leave a little car emoji to let me know you make it to the end. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye. Can you just sit and look normal? You're looking fucking weird. Just sit and be normal. And so we're going to go with gold, not gold, dear. Focus on finishing my book. And there's lint on my book. Okay. And Jack is the guy that checked up with it. Hopefully I remember what I was trying to say earlier, but we'll see. So we are at 2 hours. I don't even know if you'll be able to read that. Yeah, we are at 2 hours. So we basically only really read for what, 4 hour? Oh God, the ring light. What book did I start? Yes. So yeah, Focus and Glow. Does the mic look as weird as I feel like it does? Because this feels like it looks weird. But I also couldn't figure out a different place to put it. Okay. So we are here for our second. What is on my lens? Okay. After I've like fingered the fucking lens. Okay, no, we're not putting that in the video. I don't need a clip of me saying fingered on the internet. So we are here for our words. There's also cat hair on it. And so dear. So we're just going to cut all of that out. Oh my gosh, all of my big books are like in the middle. And then the two on the bottom are so skinny.